Formula One makes its way back to the United States. It's in the Nevada desert. Welcome to Las Vegas. Max Verstappen has absolutely dominated the 2023 season as well. He could set another new record by most victories again this weekend. Just 2 races left, back-to-backs as well here in Las Vegas before Abu Dhabi next weekend rounds out the season. Max Verstappen leads the Drivers' Championship and is already champion on 524 points. Sergio Perez, with a good result in Sao Paulo, now goes to 258 ahead of Lewis Hamilton on 226. Fernando Alonso and Lando Norris in a battle with Carlos Sainz now for 4th place. Carlos Sainz then ahead of his teammate Charles Leclerc, who's down in 7th, fighting off George Russell. Oscar Piastri, Lance Stroll and Pierre Gasly round out the first page. Esteban Ocon is on 46 points. He's cleared to Alexander Albon. Then it's a battle for 14th between Yuki Tsunoda, Valtteri Bottas, Nico Hülkenberg as well. Danny Ricciardo and Zhou Guanyu tied on points. Magnussen only has 3. Liam Lawson on 2. Sargent on 1. Nick De Vries still no points, but will not score any more in Formula One. In the Constructors' Championship, this is where things get funny. Verstappen and Perez now have 782 points for Red Bull. Then it's exactly 400 back from Mercedes, 382. Ferrari have 362, before McLaren have 282. Then we get Aston Martin on 261, Alpine on 108. Then the battle over 7th between Williams, AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo, now including Haas on 12. A fight between 4 teams for the last points paying positions. Let's take a look around the brand new Las Vegas street circuit. Designed here on the Strip, it's our 3rd ever Grand Prix in Nevada after Caesars Palace in 1980 and 1981. Get a good, nice run coming out of the curved last corner on a curved start-finish straight. Down towards turn 1, hard on the brakes, around about 4th gear. Gradually get on the accelerator, allow it to curve you round. Avoid the pit exit before tight into turn 3. Double, triple, and even quadruple apex as you hurtle down the back straightaway. Nice open at the DRS as well, but as you stamp on the brakes, it's a very hard entry point. A wall just in the braking zone as well means you're going to be diving for an apex and hoping it's there. Now it's the tightest part of the course. Literally braking and turning, a very tight left followed by a very tight right, past the sphere as you come underneath the bridge section. Hurtle back down as well, the sphere looking at you as you hurtle back down past the Nevada Hotel. Now, get up to speed once more before one of another tricky braking zone. Brake, 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 turn in, very hard sort of triangle corner exit curve before you enter the Las Vegas Strip. Everything flying around you with night lights as well. This is the only night race on the calendar where every session is under the lights. You're in 8th gear, maximum, revving out the engine with DRS open before stamping on the brakes into the last 3 corners as well, flicking the car in, hoping you don't hit the barrier before full throttle right to the end of the lap. Open up the DRS once more as you come around the start-finish straight. And that is a lap of the Las Vegas Strip circuit. For the first time since 1982, Formula One is about to have a competitive session on the streets of Las Vegas. Back then, it was around a car park in Caesars Palace. Now we are all set to go on the Las Vegas Strip. We've had a race on the Strip before, though, but that was in the 1964 film Viva Las Vegas, and the winner that day, Elvis Presley. Well, it certainly is looking forward to what is going to be a magical day around this city. ABBA was 100% right. To win a fortune, it's either Las Vegas or Monaco. Alongside me is Jess Ball. Alongside me also will be Joe Samaniego. Omi's hanging around somewhere around, just getting everything sorted. He's on the Macau shift this weekend, getting ready to cover that race, the F3 World Cup. But Jess, we're finally here. We're in Vegas. It is 4:24 a.m. European time. It's the first time I ever remember having a night race, both in Formula One and in the UK. We're both at night.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for us Europeans because we have to get up at this time. We're kind of used to it for Japan. But hello, good morning for those of you that are watching in Europe. And it's not good for, I think, Americans because they think, oh, yeah, it's their home race. And then they have to get up at ridiculous o'clock to still watch it. So it's not ideal for them. But I'm intrigued to see how the drivers are going to do it. Las Vegas this weekend, cold temperatures potentially over the qualifying and the race, so maybe a struggle with the tyres, but we'll find out during the 2 practice sessions how it's all gonna fare out. 6 o'clock the race is on Sunday. This is gonna be
It's going to be mad, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Getting ready for this one. We're about to get going. There's a look at the track. It looks like a pig upside down. But the talking can stop. It is 8 o'clock here in Las Vegas. It's time to get the action started. Here it comes, the first ever practice session on the Strip. Liberty Media had a dream when they took over Formula One: dominate the United States of America. They added a race in Miami Gardens. Now we're having a race on the Las Vegas Strip. This is quite the momentous weekend. Formula One, just like it does at Monaco, has shut down the second busiest banking, the busiest trading and the busiest casino city in the world. It's round 21 and we're at Las Vegas, the Cosmopolitan, Hard Rock, Caesars Palace, all the big names along this famous strip. Formula One buying land to make a start-finish straight and zooming around the entire main downtown city. It's a 6.201 kilometre circuit. It's the second longest track on the calendar after Spa-Francorchamps. It's 3.853 miles, and we have 2 DRS zones. 50 laps ahead of us as well, past the sights and scenes. It's a total of 17 corners. The drivers realistically only feel 11 of them through the fast nature of this circuit. And it all starts right here. Pirelli bringing tyre compounds the softest to deal with the cold conditions. Red soft C5, yellow medium C4, white hard C3 tyre compounds. But conditions are a little bit better than we expected. Track temperature 18.8 degrees, air temperature 16.6 at the moment here as we look at downtown Las Vegas. Well, everyone thought, would the lights be on? Would we get the full Vegas feel? We are indeed. Every single company, every single promenade is lit up and the track lit up from the sky. Jess, this looks absolutely fantastic. It's certainly one of the most picturesque races we've ever seen. And seeing it for the first time under the lights looks fantastic.
Honestly, I absolutely love the scenery in Las Vegas. Obviously, we had a bit of experience in-game before it came in real life, of course. But it's just nice to see it in the flesh as well. And apart from what I would say, I think the turn 12 curbing, I was watching the safety car lap, it looks pretty accurate to what you see in game. So that's a good job from the developers to get it almost spot on in a way, which is considering they only had a little bit of time to create it and not much reference point. But yeah, it does look good, but to try it, not so much.
Joe Samaniego will be with us shortly as well once he can get into the Discord call as well. And Adam Lemridge is back with us for practice 3 and the race on Sunday as well. This is the 12th venue to host the United States Grand Prix, but it also is the 1,100th Grand Prix of a World Championship event in Formula One history. So it's race number 1,100. And in that time, Max Verstappen has dominated the proceedings since the 2019 Grand Prix in Shanghai. As we get ready, now we have the sphere here, of course, but they will not be using blue, red or yellow colours to distract from the drivers. Everyone has pointed out maybe a big green sign isn't the best thing either, because then we're going to get a bit distracted under the full course yellows. But this is the only permanent part on the Formula One circuit. This is the start-finish straight. Formula One have built it up, brought a wild bit of land, and for once actually, Jess, as well, the Red Bull actually has completely changed livery for Las Vegas. It's gone to sort of a lighter purple colour with loads of sparks and flies coming through.
I like the neon purple that they've got there. It's one of my favourite colours as well. It's going to be nice under the lights. And you've seen Ferrari change their suit and a bit of their livery as well. AlphaTauri as well have gone for a little bit of a difference. But they've got a countdown in the sphere, which is interesting. But in about 3 seconds, we're about to go green.
For the first time at Las Vegas on the strip, it is green light and away we go. Practice is underway here on the strip, and let's see what the cars get up to. It was a damp track yesterday. All the bitumen has risen up to the top. It's getting a little bit more exciting now. But we are underway for the first ever time here at Las Vegas. Well done for getting up or staying up wherever you are in the world to watch this one. The drivers are confused with it. The teams are confused with it. This pit exit's going to be a bit impossible as well. Cars are venturing out. Bottas and Stroll are first out there. Now we hope to have the driver tracker completely fixed by the time we get to practice 2. But this is the first ever one coming through. Adam is awake. Adam, if Joe can't turn up and doesn't get here, you can feel free to hop in. We'll just give him a few minutes to get it all sorted. He is in Atlanta, I believe, or is it Alaska? It's one of the two. One of the ones beginning with an A at the moment. But there's Valtteri Bottas in the Las Vegas Alfa Romeo livery through one of the parts of the track. I absolutely hate that tricky complex through the Sevilla section at turns number 7 and 8, because as you know, Jess, you took the lap attack for us. Turn 7, you're sort of turning and braking, then you quickly switch back from the left to the right, and we're going to see a lot of drivers making mistakes there.
That chicane is going to be, I think, very difficult, because there's quite a few times I've done that lap and I've almost missed a chicane and I have to brake earlier as well. So I still haven't mastered that chicane yet, but hopefully it won't take the drivers long to master it as well. Turn 1 and 2 and 3 kind of reminds me of the Hanoi circuit in the way with how they take the track. And also Miami as well, it looks quite similar. And the pit lane is just so close as well. That's going to be tricky. And there is article in the stuff in the rules. They can't do practice starts in the pit lane. They have to do it on the track due to how close the pit lane is to the racing line.
Incredibly dusty as we come down to the braking zone at turn number 5 as well. Another one that's hard on the brakes because you're braking and you're sort of aiming your car towards a wall, because the wall for the safety marshals comes out quite close, so you're sort of diving into the apex. There's the Las Vegas sphere just coming on. Joe Samaniego loading in now as well, which is ace to see. Nice to have him back in the commentary box since Le Mans, actually, I think, as they hurtle back down and begin the run down through towards turn 11. Long little sweep for braking zone at 12 takes you back into the Las Vegas strip. Just flicking the car in, getting back on the power, and Verstappen now will go down that boulevard, and it looks fantastic. Honestly, this track, one of the best we've seen visually in Formula One. And hopefully, as well, going to be one of the best ones coming in. Now, I think, Jess, can you see Joe's camera?
It's loading for me.
Ah, yeah, okay. Same for me, good. So we'll just let Joe load in and get him all set up and ready to
You're
go.
on the battle screen, I presume.
We are on the battle screen, yeah.
Good.
Coming in. Just,
I have to say, can I talk about the Las Vegas Strip for a minute?
Of course you can.
I've noticed that the DRS in-game is too powerful around it. So you would need less downforce around the Las Vegas Strip. That's why you would expect people to run, I think, lower downforce there. But you'll need to go through the corners, so it's tricky to get.
Grip is currently very low, says George Russell. Go on, just.
So it's tricky to get the balance right, as it were, in terms of whether you need stability for the corners or whether you need straight line speed for the Las Vegas Strip. Because we don't have straight line speed, you're going to get overtaken. And I think if you're battling for the lead on the last lap, you want to be second going into the Las Vegas Strip because of the toe and the DRS.
It's going to be mad, absolutely mad how they're going to drag it down as well. I know Joe's fighting for control over his webcam at the moment, as you can see, so we'll hopefully hear from him in a second. Can you at least hear us, Joe?
Yes, I can hear you guys. Can you hear me all right?
We can indeed.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello, how are you doing? You enjoying watching Las Vegas?
Yeah, it's impressive seeing the scenery of Las Vegas. It's a beautiful city I've been to, and skyline lit up. It's like, this is, I mean, just look at that. The wind back there, the Harrah's, all the landmarks. This is visually a spectacle that I think everyone will be talking about year after year.
So do you reckon that with all, we've talked about it on the Grid Network a lot, Jed, all the disruptions with everybody saying, oh, we don't like the fact that it's taken up so much of the public life as well. They've blocked all the scenes as well. Do you reckon that if this is a one-year deal and then it goes, or will it stay the full 10 years?
This is easily going to be the first 3 years without a doubt. Thing too for Las Vegas, this is sort of new because remember they're getting the Super Bowl. That's going to be a lot of disruptions around. Formula One, this is the biggest disruption you can get. We saw the disruptions. NASCAR had it with Chicago.
Yeah.
I think this is something we'll see how this first year goes. The second year, I think, will be the telltale signs if the price of disruption are going down and down. I anticipate we're going to see at least the first 3 years smoothly. And things go good then. Potentially the full 10 years. It's always going to come down to the dollar, though. Did they get the bang for the buck there? Hopefully.
Yeah, and literally, I know some people are saying they wish that the mob still run Las Vegas, but personally, I think that was a bit too far. But I agree with you as well. Get some dollars in, and everything will be okay. We're just watching Lewis Hamilton now towing.
This is a tow.
Yeah, which one is it? It's. I can't tell if it's Max Verstappen or Sergio Perez coming into this one because they're on top of each other coming into the braking zone. But this braking into turn 14, 15, and 16 is going to be incredibly difficult to get right. But I've never seen this track. I've never seen a... Oh, there's Joe. Hello, Joe. Nice to see you. Hello.
Hey!
I've never, ever seen a Formula One race look this mechanical. I don't know what... It's just... There's so much metal around with infrastructure as well. And then we've got all the promenade down Las Vegas Strip as well. It looks so strange as Leclerc's on a 1:44.019. He's got the current fastest time on the soft tyres at the moment. As Lance Stroll looks like he's having his usual Friday issues. He's completed a couple of laps and he's come straight back into the pit lane. Yeah, he's done 2 laps at the moment and gone straight back in. So Stroll's in trouble.
Yellow flag.
Where's this then? On the track. Yeah, we have got a yellow flag, sector 3. So someone gone straight on the escape road. Well, it's down the Las Vegas Strip, actually. And everyone's going through their... Say again, Joe?
Down on Las Vegas Boulevard, the Strip.
So,
yeah.
Gasly, Albon, they're all going through. I think there's debris or something down there because there's no cars stopped in that section of the track. DRS disabled, yellow flag, sector 17. As we see the T-Mobile logo. Oh, virtual safety. Is that a double yellow? Double yellow. Sainz has stopped.
Norris.
Oh, is it Norris?
I know.
This is Lando.
So, I wonder if it's before the last... Oh, no, it's something different. Okay, thank you.
Sainz has stopped on my timing screen. Sainz has come to a stop. And is this going to... Sainz has stopped to the final sector. Yeah, so this might be a red flag. Carlos Sainz of the Ferrari, according to my driver tracker, has stopped in the last sector. You can see on your screens at home now as well. And it's just near the pit lane, of course. So let's have a look. Yeah,
And
there
we're
he
seeing
is.
a replay of Lando now. Oh, yeah.
Well, he's just grabbed to a halt, and it's a red flag.
Is he look red flag? Has he lost power?
Must have.
Was it the same? Because remember in the Brazilian Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc had a hydraulics
Oh,
issue.
the wheel's not on. Where's the wheel? Oh, it's just under the halo. So he's taking the wheel off.
Yeah, it's on his right hand side.
Well, what's happened there? Poor Ferrari. They cannot catch a break. As you said, Jess, with that.
They can't.
What happened? Is that flashing at the back on the lights? Yeah.
Is it green is never good, or is it red? That's
Red's never
Oh,
good.
I'm confused.
Green's okay. Amber's a worry. Red's like jump.
Next, I'm thinking in other sports, if you see a green, it's not good.
Yeah. It gets Formula E is green, isn't it? It gets confusing when you can kind of type shit
Oh,
out.
right, yeah, that's probably why then.
Joe, you know this area better than me. Is that the fountain section? That's coming down the hotel, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep, that's in front of the Bellagio Hotel, the fountains there where traditionally you'll be seeing the water being jetted up. And then it's just something where that is a big draw for the public going there along the strip. That's every 15 minutes a water show going on. Obviously not going on right now. The show, of course, is Formula One. But yes, this is one of the landmark areas, and for Carlos Sainz, it has to be a tough break for Ferrari. I mean, what we saw with Leclerc in Brazil, now this. Is this a case of Ferrari being Ferrari, as Ben would say on our grid programs? And is this going to be something where another dreadful weekend, considering it's just lost fourth position, now is 6th, much for going to lose ground, including losing ground to Mercedes now in the constructors.
Yep, and just I haven't got any notes on Carlos Sainz actually up in here because it's a new track, so the driver notes practically non-existent. But I do have some record stats on a couple of drivers, and I've got blank spaces to fill in the rest. But yeah, not great for Carlos Sainz to come in as he's currently on 192 points in the drivers' standings. He's cleared by 22 to his teammate Charles Leclerc. But he's also in a fight with Lando Norris and Fernando Alonso for 4th place in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. The gap between them, Alonso 198, Norris 195, Sainz 192. You can tell by taking a look here on the live timing chat we've got up here in the comms boxes. Oh, look, for some reason, look, everything's gone off there for the lap-by-lap coverage. So the red flag is out once again. And I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Let's hear from...
But
And we haven't even got the pit lane things. Okay, there we go. Let's hear from Fernando Alonso. He's on the radio.
Tyres are still on a cold side.
Okay, tyres still on the cold
Okay.
side. Let's hear from Pierre Gasly.
Let me know about real slip because I'm struggling on braking.
Okay, yellow flag, yellow ahead.
Well, so Gasly got told. Just let me tell you about everything. Let's hear from Oscar Piastri.
So, Oscar, we've seen very high underbody temperatures. We're making a cooling panel change.
So already the car's getting hotter and hotter down the back straightaway. Well, it's 3 straights here, down towards turn 1, down from turns 3 to turns 5, and then down from turn 14 all the way to, well, turn 12 down to turn 14, actually, at the Las Vegas Strip. So it's constantly getting the problematic rounds. Let's hear from George Russell.
Big bump where I put the marker.
Yeah, big bump where he put the car in as well, so... Not 100%. At least no one's had a track limits violation yet. But I'll tell you what, Jess, I'm not getting on the AI radio transcripts. Are you?
yeah, I'm trying to find it at the moment as well. I'm just getting race control messages.
Yeah, I'm just getting race control messages, not getting anything so far. But I've just found out, actually, that I can scroll down on the timing screen, which is going to make Megan very happy because she was complaining in Mexico.
Wait, you didn't know you could scroll down through the timing screens?
No, because I've got mine set up for the top 20 and then race control messages. I had no idea I could just go like down and read the whole race control stuff. So that's something I've just found out.
Now you know.
Yeah, no, I know. That's the thing I've just found out sitting now in the commentary box. The safety car was actually out before the session started as well. It was just doing some final reconnaissance laps for the track to be 100% cleared. The only problem is, Joe, as you know as well, because we've talked about it on the grid show, Formula One's the only racing series here. So, because the track gets opened up in between sessions for the public to use, it's minimum disruption. But that's going to be a problem in itself, isn't it? A bit like Monaco. Because Las Vegas is very, very busy.
They're very busy, and then, of course, with all the traffic, you're going to have potential of, public roads. Vehicles are not exactly in the best shape, leaking fluids and all this. It's going to be a lot of work. Try to clean the track, guess what? Rub off all the rubber. It's going to be very unique, because in Long Beach, it could close the area because you're not going to have that much traffic where Long Beach is located. Here, this is a major roadway where we're going to have to reopen it each and every day. This is going to be such a unique test. And of course, I think one of the things we've heard a lot of people talk about, cold weather, the cold temperature with these tires, what are they going to do for Pirelli? This is going to be a big test. And I think overall, it's going to be exciting.
I've got the reason. It's a loose drain cover. And that was why the yellow flag was out. Carlos Sainz was told about the yellow flag, then hit a massive bump. And he's been told, I've just hit a massive ugh, and then he pulled to a stop. And George Russell was told about that Sainz's floor's been destroyed. So there is a loose drain cover, and if I understand this correctly, that could be practice over. Because a bit like Baku a couple of years ago, they've now got to go around the entire track and make sure that all the drains are sealed down, and that takes longer than this session has. So I reckon that could be practice over. So that's incredibly worrying. Let's see what we have as we're back on with Sky. This is Carlos Sainz. Take a listen.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. We're having a replay here of Carlos Sainz spot of bother.
Listen. Oh, yeah, he's hit a drain cover. Wow.
A sudden movement and quite an impact, wasn't it? You could hear that. And then flashes up on his screen, stop the car, engine off.
Yeah, so he's destroyed the floor. So, yeah, the floor's damaged. So you saw it. He literally went down the straight, bang, and it's ripped the floor. So this session, I don't think is going to resume. If Baku's anything to go by, that won't happen. And Joe, I don't know if that's worrying or embarrassing or just a fluke, but it's 15 minutes into the first practice session at this circuit, and a drain cover's come loose. Is that a sign of things to come?
It could be. I mean, one of the big things, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens and how F1's going to handle this. You're going to say, well, this is a fluke. This is something where it's a case of the downforce of the car pulling the drain cover up. Still, if we don't get a session in, especially with all the negative attention that's been around this weekend, it's going to be one of those building up the argument. Especially, it's interesting, the yellow light was there blinking for Carlos. I'm surprised it didn't slow down or,
didn't lift.
Do you think the yellow flag was because of that loose drain cover?
Well, I said about the yellow flag being out, and then Carlos Sainz came to a stop because he was still circling on the driver tracker. So
So he didn't cause it. He didn't cause it. So I wonder if they realised, oh, bugger, there is a drain cover. We should put a yellow flag on.
Well, where was the red flag? That was written at the race director, not being that quick. It should have been instant red flag.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, again.
Ridiculous.
Oh. Great. So we got 15 minutes in to this session.
And it's 4:47 a.m. and I could have got some beauty sleep, but no.
Actually, when did the red flag come out? Red flag came out at 4:38:35. That's UK time. So what's that?
So we only got 8 minutes,
8 minutes.
Josh.
Yeah.
8.
Oh dear. Gearbox went in full swing, close to 340. They're saying that's gearbox. It's not gearbox.
It's a drain cover.
Yeah. There was already a yellow flag before Sainz stopped as he was passing yellow. He bottomed out hard against something and it killed his engine. That's what Chris Maitland has just said. Oh, look, the fountains are going off. Fantastic. Well, may as well give
Oh, that look. The graphics, by the way, in-game looks brilliant.
Joe, can you see what I can see? All those cars going out
Alpine.
there. Oh, is Ted down there? Oh, there's a problem at Alpine.
I
Ted.
have no news to give you I'm afraid, from Ferrari.
It is a
I've gone
drain
through the
cover.
proper channels and said, you know, what can you say about what happened with Carlos hitting the bump and his car not working? By the way, if you're looking at a picture of Esteban Ocon, I'll get on to that later, okay? Patience.
Right.
But that's all that we have at the moment. Ferrari, obviously, you know, maybe
Drain
the car was
cover.
being run too low. Maybe there was a reason it was lower than Charles Leclerc. Charles
It's a
Leclerc is
drain
still in the
cover.
car. He's just taking his helmet off. He's
Someone tell Ted.
just, considering his options. No indication from the team that there was any failure on the car that led it to go down lower than usual, hit that bump and turn the car off. It just looks like quite literally an unlucky break for...
Oh, I'm turning Ted off. I've never known us to have more information than Ted Kravitz, ever. It's
broken. I think that's
No,
safe to say, and they're
turn
waiting
it
to get
off.
the car back
Turn
at
it off.
Ferrari.
I wanna hear
The
about
mechanics have gone
Esteban.
down to the front of the pit lane where they're expecting
Yeah, Esteban,
to
get
get
on
it
to
back.
Esteban.
Meanwhile, now I can get on to Esteban Ocon, who's having some work, quite a lot of work actually done to the floor of the car, especially around the front, the bib. He came in at the red flag. It's not that he came in before that. There was something wrong, and he's out of the car on the left-hand side as we look at it.
I think he's hit it.
So it looks like this is going to take a bit of time to fix. Hopefully for Esteban Ocon's sake, not too long into the session once we get a restart.
Now, this is not official. This is me surmising here. I reckon Ocon went over the drain. He's loosened it, caused some damage to his floor, and then Sainz has hit it again. Because on the driver tracker, Ocon was there first. And then the yellow flag came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too after they were talking about Esteban Ocon. It's like, I think he got it loose. One of the marshals saw it because we saw that yellow flag, the yellow caution light blinking when Carlos Sainz came around. It was a little too late, and
Why did
What's really
Sainz not slow down?
Session's been cancelled. The session would not resume. I knew that would happen. Same as what we had in Baku back in 2019.
No, yeah, 2019 with George Russell.
Yeah, the drain cover's loose. The session has now been cancelled because they need to make sure that all the drain covers are the same. So we had a session cancelled, if you remember, back in Montreal, and they extended practice 2 by 30 minutes. That's now alarming me, because does that mean that we're going to go to 9:30 UK time? And I've got an ice skating. I've got ice skating to get to at 10. So what are they going to do here? Just 2 hours of practice? Are they going to extend practice to later?
Or they're going to extend FP3?
Don't know, but that's worried. Session will not resume. So we got 8 minutes, and that's not the best start that Formula One in Las Vegas wanted. Means we all get a couple of hours extra sleep if everybody wants it, but still, that is not the best news, Joe, and that's quite alarming as we look at where we used to race at the car park at Caesars Palace.
put it this way. If you look on a lot of social media, especially Las Vegas, locals have been complaining about this, and they're saying, well, they'll give it a shot. This is already one huge black eye for F1. We put through many months to get this trip ready. We still had a manhole cover loose. And we only saw 8 minutes. Many cars even completed more than one lap.
Yeah.
And now it's all for nothing. And these are not cheap tickets too.
That is true, yeah. Some paying over £1 million for it as well. Now, what I can understand is it is the drain covers. They need to go around and check all of them. That's going to take time. It's the second longest track on the calendar, and it's a street track, so it's going to take some time.
Yep.
But, yeah. Oh, good. Drew Blank Music has just said Shades of Dallas. Very good point. Dallas in 1984 was supposed to be on the calendar for like 5 years. It was a one-and-done deal because the track just was not good enough.
I wonder if we'll get the same here.
It's not the best start, is it? Everyone was worried about it.
No.
Not the best start, and I think this is really going to look poorly because when you look at them, we know in general street courses are hard to organize. The cities involved, the promoters, all this. Look at IndyCar. They're bouncing around at Long Beach. NASCAR, they're bouncing around. F1, we're going to put paved track, paved ideal conditions. This occurs. This does not look really good. Granted, an F1 car is making a lot more downforce, a lot more ground effects compared to a NASCAR car, IndyCar car. Oh, this is not good PR for the fans and for everyone in Las Vegas to hear. What do you mean they only went 8 minutes and they canceled? So.
I know, Joe, you've got access, as obviously, to the Grid Network chat. You run it, but for Jess, who doesn't, and anybody else who doesn't, I just love what we've just seen been put in by Ben Schneider. Ben has just said, in his Rick Allen voice, "Make room, 2005 Indy and 2021 Spa. There's another all-time F1 farce." I don't want it to be. Go on.
Oh, I don't.
None of us do. And the worst part, this is the United States. No NASCAR is going to try to. We do it better. We know how to do it. IndyCar, we know how to run. Look at the damage right there.
Ooh.
Is that on site? Somebody else?
That is on Science's car, yeah. The Sky've put a camera down there. It's ripped out the floor. So it is destroyed. My goodness me. For those of you who can't see it on the TV or watching along with us, basically, Ted.
Speed. So
No, it's not Ted, it's Jensen.
That's Jensen. Oh, Jensen!
Imagine cleaning your teeth. No, that's not going to work. I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Okay, imagine having a chocolate bar.
You've done it at a wrong time, in particular when people are up and probably
Yeah.
about to clean their teeth, Josh.
Yeah, no, that's what I was
in
thinking.
Europe.
Well, I'd like to see. Is that race control marshals saying that they can't put the camera there? Well, you can. So, yeah, this is similar to what happened at Baku in 2019 when George Russell hit loose drain cover in practice. Yeah. Look, no.
They're like this.
Yeah. Don't block the camera. Oh, hello. Is that? So we're just seeing now as well that the marshals coming in, but also FIA race control are coming in to have a look at that. Now that man there is Joe Bauer's right-hand man. He's the second in command down in the pit lane for technical delegates. So what he's doing is just checking that there's no oil or anything leaking from underneath the car, and he's also then looking at the damage done to the car so that they can have a rough idea to the FIA of what I have to do. Ted.
Background, you can see the stewards have actually wanted to come out and see the damage. So that, you can see Gary Connolly,
Derek Warwick's there too. Derek Warwick.
Derek Warwick.
He's the driver
two of the
steward.
stewards at this event, wanting to have a look at the damage to Sainz's Ferrari. I think it's actually also broken the front suspension as well as the floor and potentially the chassis. Natalie. So this is effectively a safety concern. This is a track defect that's led to a safety concern that has caused a stoppage of the first practice session of this Las Vegas Grand Prix. And yeah, I mean, anticlimax, disappointment, you can put it any way you want. I don't think the FIA had any option but to say, until they know exactly what has happened and what bit of, whether it's a drain cover, a storm drain, or a manhole cover, or just a ultra aggressive bump. I think we can discount that. There does seem to be, as the FIA telling you, Nats, in the commentary box there, some kind of cover has come loose. We have seen this in the past, but there's been such a point that if you can break a chassis, then it is a safety concern for the drivers out there. So
That's
there you go.
worse
There's
than
the bump
George,
again.
right? That's worse than George
Yeah, it's on
Russell
the-
in 2019.
Yeah, look, it's up. Oh, and that's going to hurt Sainz a lot, I think, there as well, when it ran over him.
Yeah. It's worse than 2019 because I think George only damaged the half of his car, didn't he? Whereas Sainz seems to be a lot worse.
Tom Dillon says, shouldn't they have done this last month? Yeah, they're going to check all the covers now. They should have done it. It says, Synthil, hello, Synth. Tom's saying, shouldn't they have done it last month? Yeah, they should have. Adam agrees.
Yeah.
Adam, you're not I just realised Adam's not a administrator. Hang on. How do I? Moderator. There we go.
Moderator.
Yeah, there you go. Made Adam moderator. Looking down, Tom says, I thought since China in 2005, all the drain covers were meant to be well down. There, they should have been. What's alarming me is that Derek Warwick and Gary Connolly, the two stewards here, the driver stewards, have gone down. I think this isn't what happened back in 2019. This is now starting to alarm me that there's something else going on. Because Ocon's car's got floor damage, now Sainz, and it's alarming me that, because the safety car was out there just before the session started.
Joe put in the chat of the loose drain cover. That looks bad.
Yeah, it's not like a manhole cover, but it looks like a loose drain hole I do believe it is that theory you said. Ocon probably ran it over
Yeah.
and it probably got loose. And the worst part was loose and just sit it up. Here comes Sainz. It just sucked it up, hit the front of the car, damaged the suspension, and that's why I think now it's a matter of finding that loose drain cover for investigation. And it'll be a pretty open case, but that's something else. It's a tough break for Carlos Sainz. If that chassis is damaged, they're going to have a lousy weekend and big setback for him in the points.
Ocon's damage is so bad, Alpine have changed the chassis. So Ocon's hit it. I think Ocon's hit it too. So that's just in
Yeah,
from
he
Chris
has.
Maitland. Yeah, Ocon's damage is so bad, Alpine has to change the chassis. So there is two. That's two. So Ocon's hit it as well. This is unprecedented. I cannot believe this. Ted.
Furniture around it that's come loose, and that's what it's going to take some time to fix.
Thank you, Ted. We're hearing again from Tom Wood that we are not going to resume the session as it's going to take time to understand the issue and take any necessary actions to remedy. Safety first.
Well, yeah, you can't weld metal to the road.
Yeah, Ocon hit it. Alpine just put out a statement. We will change the chassis on car 31 due to damage from a suspected drain cover on track. So Ocon hit it too.
But not as bad as Sainz.
Yeah. So I think it's Joe's got a really good point. That chassis would never hit performance again if it's cracked. Good point, Joe. You're right. Astral says, well, it was looking more interesting than Miami with the minutes we had. Manhole covers, baby. Yeah, it was looking a lot more interesting than Miami. I was really impressed, actually, with how quickly they were getting up to speed. Leclerc was 1:49.09, which is getting quicker. Can you imagine if this gets cancelled, how much of a PR nightmare this would end up being? Well, that's a question, isn't it? If we get a drain cover in the race coming up, we can't really red flag and then go because it's going to take ages to cover everything up. We've had to cancel this session with 40 minutes to go. So this is getting not just alarming, it's getting a little bit concerning that the track was only... Do you know, fun fact, I've just had this confirmed to me, I was waiting for it. The track was only officially homologated as safe to use 15 minutes before practice 1 started.
What?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Formula One has really bent over backwards. Of course, they're promoting this event and everything. They have bent over backwards and really, I feel, been pushing it with the FIA rule standards to just so quickly, okay, everything's closed off. We're doing what we need to do to make it all proper, ready.
Yeah.
They're really pushing it, and this is, I think, a case of maybe the weld was just not good enough. Or worst case, maybe a weld that was just skipped. It just so happened to be on the Las Vegas Boulevard, where this is where a lot of work went into getting this surface ready, and I just cannot believe this, considering this is right in front of these big casinos, money going around, and this is a black eye.
Yeah.
There is Joe Bauer. That's our technical delegate. So he's just been into Ferrari. He's the big policeman in the pit lane for the F1 technical regulations as well. Ted Kravitz, as we heard, the frame around the manhole cover came adrift. So it's the welding and the frame itself that came up. So imagine you've got a plaster on, and then the plaster comes off when it's under water. It's the same thing. It doesn't stick down as well. I'm trying to. So this is really strange as well to cover it up. My co-qualifying in an hour. Josh taking me to switching the coverage over emergency, so you're not going up for nothing. I don't know. Well, I know that Omi's covering the Macau races this weekend for the F3 World Cup, and I know he's taking everything sorted. So that's leaving it with him. You can join us. Race 1, the qualifying race is tomorrow. Race 2. On Sunday for the main Grand Prix. Omi's covering you both. So that's it. The session has been cancelled, and it ends with Charles Leclerc fastest, 140.909. Hülkenberg and Magnussen second and third, has his best practice results of the year, but by quite a margin off. Max Verstappen, Esteban Ocon, George Russell, Carlos Sainz, Yuki Tsunoda, Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas rounding out the top 10. Gasly 11th, followed by Hamilton, Ricciardo, Zhou and Norris, the 15 drivers who managed to set lap times in this session. And Stroll already had an issue, and he was back in the pit lane just getting things sorted after doing some reconnaissance laps. Piastri did 2 laps. Albon 2 not timed, Alonso 2 not timed, and Sargent was the only driver not to get out on the track at all in that practice session, but everybody else at least got 4 to 5 laps in, just making sure that everything was okay. An embarrassment here at Las Vegas, situations beyond our control. We'll have to do it again though, all set for practice later on. And of course, that's going to be the big concern, whether or not we actually get a practice session. We'll move back up then to the main cams with myself, Joe and Jess. Right, where do we go from here? Let's have a thought discussion. What do you think we're going to see? Because this is going to... Ben just said, how long is this contract going to run? It's looking more and more like a one and done with every passing hour. It does, which is annoying. Jess, starting with you. In Baku, they had to check over 300 drain covers. I think there's over 600 on this circuit. The FAA have got a long work cut out for them. And now they've had to close the track because they've got to get it ready for everybody else.
Look at this. They've got a lot of technical directors there, a lot of FIA directors. It's going to take longer than the break that we got to get it fixed, because it's 5 o'clock now, practice, well, UK time, and practice 2 is meant to be scheduled at 8:30 UK time, if I...
No,
8 o'clock, so if they got 3 hours, that's not going to be enough. I won't be surprised if they cancel free practice 2.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm thinking the same thing actually here to get that sorted. So it's they've got 6, 7, 8. They've got 3 hours now to get that sorted, and that's not enough time.
It's not going to be sorted.
Yeah,
it's not going to be sorted.
Because that's oh, Joe, this is a mess.
This is a mess, and the size of this track, the number of manhole covers. I think we're not going to be seeing a second practice, and the other thing you got to consider too, the teams. Going to be saying we don't want to have our chassis danger of and damaged and destroyed. They're saying this particularly if you are Aston Martin. They're saying this as, hey, this is a tough break for Ferrari, but this is our opportunity to finish ahead of Carlos Sainz because he's going to not have a great weekend. If you're a Red Bull, Mercedes, or a McLaren, you don't want to go out there until you are assured this is not going to happen to your car. And rough start for the race weekend, Dad. I mean, you had just asked me right before this occurred, like, you think this will be the 1 year or the 10 year? Gotta say, with this goes already looking like it might be just the 1 year and could be the biggest flop in.
I hope we don't get delayed at P2. Josh has got plans.
Yeah, I'm worried because at 10 a.m. Well, I've got to be at ice skating at 9:45 a.m. and it's a 10-minute drive and 30-minute walk away, so I don't know how I'm going to go. Megan, wake up! You might be needed.
Yeah, because I can't do it because I'll be at work in 2 hours.
I don't think anybody's around for practice 2. That's the annoying thing. Like I said, it's really weird times.
Yeah, because everyone's busy for once.
Yeah, because it's night over there in America. And is that it? No, it's Martin Brundle. Right. Do you two want to head off? I'll stay on and throw over to Sky, but you two deserve some slicks, and that's getting late up there and some food. So
I'm already up anyway, and I would have had to be up like half an hour before anyway, so may as well stay up.
Joe, what about you? Do you want to?
I'll be up for it because it's only 9 p.m. here, so. I mean, that's the thing.
So
same time zone as
we'll
Las
both
Vegas.
stay. We'll both stay. So why not?
Okay, sounds cool. Right, well, let's catch up on the latest from trackside, because now we've lost our information. Sky have probably got the best idea, and then we'll tune in if there's anything that we need to say. Let's hand it back over to Simon.
Drain cover on track. Let's have a look and a listen in to his onboard.
Right, so this is the onboard. This is Esteban Ocon. So take a listen. Yeah, he lifts it up. So Ocon lifts it up.
So it was shut.
Yeah.
It's a similar sound, isn't it? It's a similar sound to Sainz.
This isn't a skipping sound. This isn't a bottoming up from skipping where you see the sparks.
It's a crunch.
This is a hit. And so obviously they're hitting something with an edge that's making.
Yeah.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Okay, so Ocon hit it first, and then Sainz hit. That's what brought the yellow flag out, and then Sainz hit it. So yeah.
Josh,
Yes.
Joe has just put out another tweet in the comms chat.
What does it say?
The comms booth chat. It's from Chris Medland.
Chris Medland, and it's confirming that it was the drain hole cover that had been loose. So
We knew that.
that is the,
Yeah. So
that is something where FIA is saying this is what happened. So
I've never seen this. It's looking so bad out there as well. I'm trying to get everything as well. I'm even trying to find webcams from the Las Vegas Strip just to see if we can get any angle on that, because it's directly on the Strip as well.
It is.
So while we work on that, we'll hand back over to Sky. Unless, Joe, you've got something?
Yep.
No? Good. Right. Back to Sky. We'll work on the hoof here.
Thank you, Simon. Yes, down here in the pit lane. So they'll certainly be hoping, the organisers here in Las Vegas, that the issue is fixable, and we have 3 hours to fix it. In fact, it's just slightly less than 3 hours. We're 8 minutes past 9 in the evening here, local time in Las Vegas, and FP2, Free Practice 2, begins at midnight. Sorry if you've already said that, just underlining that it's just under 3 hours. So we're having a look at the chassis of Esteban Ocon. So now we know that the manhole, the drain cover, whatever it was, has cost Alpine a chassis, and we believe that it's cost Ferrari Carlos Sainz's chassis as well. So that would mean that if they have to do at Carlos Sainz's car what they have to do at Esteban Ocon's car, that neither of them would be able to do Free Practice 2 anyway, because they need to they need more than 3 hours to actually get the new chassis ready. So what you can see now is the mechanics. I think you can just see the mechanic dismantling the rear wing and the gearbox, and if that is okay, that comes away as you can just see. Voila, it comes away like that. If that's okay, then they can bolt that on to the new chassis once they get that in place in the garage. So that would obviously speed up the work slightly, but there is still lots of work to do. I can't find, I've been going up and down the pit lane very quickly to see if anybody else picked up any damage, and I can't see anything. McLaren with their drivers didn't see anything. They had some issues of their own towards the back of their car that they were fixing, and in fact Oscar Piastri's car is on stand in the garage next door to us at Esteban Ocon's car, but I can't find anybody else who has suffered from it. So there is Bruno Famin on our left-hand side, just looking at the team boss. I'll just see if I can have a word with him. Bruno, what's the thought on whether the chassis change would be able to be accomplished by Free Practice 2? Almost impossible or possible?
Not totally impossible.
Okay.
It should not be ready, but I don't know if the FP2 is a bit longer. If I make it 1.5 hours, I heard it could be possible. Maybe we have a possibility to be back on the track before the end of FP2.
Okay, and what were you told? What was your sporting director told Rob Cherry about exactly what the FIA need to do now to try and get FP2 running, whether it's extended or not?
I think FIA knows perfectly what they have to do, and I'm sure they are doing it.
Okay, and as far as damage goes to Esteban's car, how bad is it? How bad was it?
It's quite bad. We have to change the chassis on the floor. The floor is quite easy, but the chassis is we have to put the car in pieces. That's why it's a big challenge to get it for FP2.
And he was okay because, as I understand it, it was just the bib section, the front forward part of the floor that took most of the damage, rather than anything that would affect his back.
It's the front part of the chassis, but it's a big damage, and we cannot continue running like that. We have to change the chassis.
Okay. Bruno, thank you very much. That's the Alpine boss for you here, Simon. Bruno Famin down, and in a slightly shocked pit lane. It's been a long time since we've had a session stopped for something like this, and yeah, concern down here. Not overly. They're not taking anything overly dramatic beyond concern. But yeah, and various discussions continue to be had as to whether FP2 will be extended to make up for some of the lost track time.
Thank you very much, Ted. Okay, so we've got a webcam down on the Las Vegas Strip there as well. It's on the opposite side, but you can see some things coming through. FIA have just tweeted this. Following inspection, it was the concrete frame around a manhole cover that has failed. We now need to check all of the other manhole covers, which will take some time, and we can see it now on the screen, guys. It's a proper manhole that's been ripped up from underneath the surface as well. And yeah, it's going straight down into the sewer. It's not a big manhole, it's just a small round one, about the size, I would say, of a fist.
It's a small one, and by looking at it, you can see where the concrete had failed. It's most likely, looking at it, my hypothesis is as Ocon went over it, at edge where the concrete failed, lifted up, and I believe that manhole cover probably was leaning at an angle where when Carlos Sainz hit it, it came at a much worse angle and just really destroyed it. But you could really see in the picture the details in the second one where it's a really much more zoomed in where concrete had failed, and even manhole cover itself, the middle is essentially dented over in that side, so it's really concerning. That's going to be a lot of work to double check the concrete on all of them. I just sort of went the concrete rather than welding them tight.
It's not looking great, is it, Jess, as well? That's good. And there's a lot of manhole covers on this circuit that they need to see.
600 they said they need to check,
Yeah.
which is going to take, I think, longer than 3 hours. But it's not the best PR, but it's still the weekend to go. They might redeem us later on as well. But yeah, if you're Ferrari or Alpine right now, you'll be very, very worried. I think you'll be worried if you're any other team, even if you haven't got damage, because you probably be worried, is the track going to be safe to race on? But let's talk about something that did make me positive this week. The Brawn documentary went out on Disney Plus on Wednesday, and I watched the first episode so far, and it's really good.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. I haven't had a chance yet, but I've been looking forward to it. Keanu Reeves.
You'll like it.
Excellent. I love 2009. One of the best seasons, and do go watch it as well. Alpine are changing the Esteban Ocon chassis as well. Watching Ocon's on board, and he sustains damage on the red flag as he passes Sainz abandoned car. So it was Sainz who... So the yellow flag came out because the marshals spotted it. Sainz hit it, red flag, and then Ocon hit it under the red flag. So
I thought it was the other way around.
No, according to... Yeah. The message...
I swear it was the other way around. Even Sky said it was the other way around.
Yeah. In other words, the message didn't get from FIA to the teams quickly enough that there was an issue with the manhole cover. So that's one thing I'm taking a look at as well.
Weird.
I think Laura Winters sworn live on air, by the way. Because she didn't like
on F1 TV, that mind.
Yeah, because because the Blue Man Group turned up, and I don't think she liked it. And she just said, "I'm so sorry. I've never in my life lost it so badly on air, but I found this generally absolutely terrifying, still shaking." So that was interesting there as well. Disappointed that we've had this session because this is on board with Sainz again. Yeah, he just hits it, and there was already a yellow flag.
No offence, but Jeddah is a lot better than this. They didn't have that much problems. At least they were able to get it much better than Las Vegas. They even got practice in the opening year. So Jeddah,
Yeah.
I have to say, fares a lot better than Las Vegas. I'm sorry.
Hello to Coffee Dixon. Astral says, I suppose there's always hiccups on new tracks. And Phyllis says, this kills the mood. And Astral saying, agreed, Jimmy Street's excellent count anyway. As soon as he hit it, it set engine off as well. I'm getting buzzed like crazy right now. So,
From the bump for Sainz too, that's really hard on the drivers every bump. It's something that huge.
Oh, that's like porpoising.
yes. Oh, my word.
Oh.
It properly
That last
ripped
row
up.
is really see it sticking out right before the arrow.
So we're all on Twitter, or X or whatever it is now as well, trying to find it as well. Yeah, they've got to check so many drain covers around this circuit as well. Sean Kelly says, to everyone's desperate for this event to fail, please enjoy this moment just as much as you did when the loose drain covers disrupted sessions in Baku, Monaco, Shanghai, and any other F1 venue that you previously deemed worthy of your patronage as well. That's good.
Yeah, that's why I'm not giving up hope.
Yeah, but this is also a thing. The FIA requires tracks to pass inspection at least day before cars on the track. Because of last-minute finishes and the track not being closed to traffic until late last night, the inspection of Las Vegas not complete until early this morning, but it has passed. That was 7 hours ago.
Well,
but
it looks like it definitely hasn't passed because of that
Yeah.
loose bloody sorry.
no, I'm with you. We're past watershed, by the way, in all parts of the world, Jess, so we're absolutely fine for that.
Well, when does watershed resume? Like
6
7 o'clock?
a.m. No, 6 a.m. So we've got another. You got time.
Oh, good.
And we're
But I'm not going to swear that much. Don't worry. I'm not going to go that overboard.
No, but for once we can actually. So that's a nice relief to hear actually. Just after hours, after dark. Yeah, so we're seeing the Las Vegas Strip there on the camera. They've now turned it away. Oh no, they're zooming back into the track now. It's a remote controlled drone, I think, that's controlling the camera there that we've got. So all looking good as they come into it. But yeah, the world's greatest wax museum. They've never been to Madame Tussauds. They did, yeah. That's a British thing.
How many drain covers did they have to check in Monaco and Shanghai then?
Monaco, I think, have over 500. I know Baku was 300. And I think...
So if Monaco were able to check their drain covers in time, I'm sure Las Vegas can too, because they got 100 more.
JB's down there.
2016.
Jensen hit a drain cover in Monaco.
Hit when it turned 1.
Here we go.
Here you go. Oh, yeah, quite a bit of damage there.
Okay.
So it's just on the exit of turn 1, I hit the cover.
Josh, we
See it
talk
just
about
there?
Monaco, and
Luckily,
then
it wasn't
Jensen Byrne
another
talks
foot
about
higher,
Monaco.
because we didn't have a halo back then. So it could be a lot scarier. So yeah, it's one of the worst things to hit because you know these safety cells in the car are amazing. They've really improved the safety. The circuits are safer, and little things like that happen. And they're heavy bits of metal as well.
But if they're cracking chassis, as we were saying, I mean, it's not unlimited parts that we've got out here.
Yeah, and you mentioned before that it obviously didn't just suck it up. It was slightly elevated. But I actually think the yellow flag
was for
probably because they saw that it was lifted. Because there was a yellow flag and there was no reason for it. Still trying to work out why that was. So I think it was lifted before. I think someone's gone over it before, lifted it, and then it sat open.
Well, it sounded like he lifted. So you'd think that he saw the yellow maybe, but
there's
still
a yellow
hit it?
right to the right-hand side, and that's why he lifted. He didn't lift because of that. Yeah, he lifted because he saw the yellow.
I was zooming about getting organised to take Stefano Domenicali out in the hot laps, which I don't think is going to happen tonight now, of course. But so, do we think Ocon and Sainz hit exactly the same part of the track?
We tried to watch Ocon, and he wasn't on that part of the circuit when he went down the straight.
Oh.
But it's more than likely the same one.
Was it in the same zone, though?
Yeah. Yeah, so...
It was definitely the same zone, come on.
And to be fair, Sainz was really lucky that he did lift, because it would have taken off a bit of straight line speed, then he went back on throttle, because you can think, well, when he's lifted, the front might have dived, but then he got back on throttle. So it was in a good position in the car, so he was going probably 30 kilometres slower, so it would have been a little bit worse.
I don't know if you'd heard what the FIA had said, which we just said on air, which was it was the concrete around the manhole cover that they've now got to check every single one. I mean, do you get the feeling that's going to be a job that could last all day, and that might be the last of the running?
Concrete sets reasonably quickly, but not that quickly if they have to reset concrete on every drain cover.
But Jensen, we go across curbs, so you see these drivers just barging across a curb that's higher than anything you're going to find down that straight. It's a little bit odd, isn't it, to be braking chassis? When you, like in Austin and that, for example, you know, cutting corners and thrashing. I know you're not doing VMAX at that point.
But also you don't hit the curb with the underside of the car, do you? You always hit the tyre on the curb first normally, and you're going at lower speed. As you said before, the cars are sitting on the floor because the skirts of the car are touching the ground. That's where they want it to be, right? So, yeah, even if it's this much up, it's going to destroy the bottom of the car as it did.
Let's bring Christian Horner in. Christian, well, first of all, a happy birthday. I thought you might be enjoying watching your car go down the strip, but it might be getting out there with the marshals and fixing the manhole covers. What are you hearing from your side?
Are you enjoying Vegas? I mean, your voice is sounding like it's going a little already.
No, not me. You know
yeah, no, look, I mean, it's a shame that we're not out on track running at the moment, but I think obviously there's been a problem. I think the frame around the manhole or the post that's there, that seems to be what's given way, so they're going to have to check all of the others and probably weld them or do something just to ensure from a safety point of view, because you can see the damage that is done to the Ferrari.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
I saw Max running over behind the paddock here to hospitality. Did he have anything to say? Have you heard anything? I just saw him running and I thought,
well,
seems urgent.
they've just done the debrief and he's had about 2 laps to talk about. So,
Right.
no, I think it was probably keep himself warm.
Any damage underneath your cars, Christian?
No, we're all good so far. So I think, from what I've heard, I think one of the Alpines has picked up a bit of damage. And obviously, I had a quick chat with Fred, and obviously the damage is quite significant on that Ferrari.
How long are you expecting this to take? All the repairs. I mean, do you think you're
how
going to be
many
out today?
posts are there? They've got to go and check them all, really, just to make sure it's safe to run. And I mean, these cars are doing such a speed so close to the ground. We've just got to make sure that it's safe.
Given that there are no support races there, you know, if you have to change the schedule and let's say we can't run again tonight, would the teams all agree to really compressing tomorrow and getting on track?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we just got to be flexible. You know, it's a great shame for the fans that are come out to see the cars running, but you know, safety comes first, and we just got to get this right, and hopefully it won't take too long.
It looked really different out there in terms of a lot of cars running different setups and stuff and different tyres. I know this is just a session to get out there and do your laps, which we're not going to do. But can you take anything from even just doing 2 laps out there? Can you get information?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's not like Istanbul was, where it was super slippy on the surface. The surface actually, whilst fresh, is, you know, the tyre temperatures were all coming up. Everything was starting to behave quite well. So it was just a shame the running got cut short because it was just starting to come in.
Have either of the drivers said anything in terms of positive about the track, or?
They've said that it's like driving in the wet on slicks at the moment, but that's normal for such a new surface. But yeah, it's pretty, especially in the braking zones, really tricky.
Well, it's safe to say the ride heights were safe. But what if, in an ideal world, what do you think is the solution? If you guys don't run tonight, what would you want to see happen tomorrow?
We'd have to extend the amount of running time in maybe in P3 or something like that. I think they'll get it sorted. I think that, I mean, we're here all night anyway.
Yes, we are.
You know, yeah, 12 o'clock, you know, why not 2 o'clock in the morning? Everybody in Europe can see it then as well. So
extend tonight.
Well,
yeah, extend tonight.
They reopen it, don't they? They reopen it to the public, the traffic from 4 a.m. in the morning. So at least there's we may be in bed before the wee small hours, but they've got to get it reopened at some point. On the positive side, then, as we look into this, everybody's waited with great anticipation. As you said there, it's unfortunate for the sport. It's unfortunate for everyone. You think they'll get it right, but overall, if they do get it right, how much are you looking forward to this as an event come Sunday?
Well, look, it's just fantastic of Formula One to put this race on for my 50th birthday. I mean,
it's very nice.
I can't think of anything better. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I was just about to say you look good for 60.
So yeah, I mean, it's quite a venue, and I mean, 5 years ago we couldn't have imagined racing in Vegas. And I think just the interest in the sport has just mushroomed so much, particularly in the US. And I think it'll be a great spectacle when it does get running. I think whilst perhaps the racetrack is the most challenging for the drivers, arguably, you know, circuits like Montreal are, but I think what it will do is produce a great race here, because, you know, you'll be slipstreaming and, you know, there's going to be a lot of overtaking.
Quick word on Max's comments. Did he just get out of bed the wrong side?
No, Max, what you got to understand with Max, he's a racing driver. He hates all the pomp and bullshit that goes with being a Formula 1 driver. He just wants to drive the car. And you know, he doesn't crave fame or adulation or anything like that. And I think that he's just a bit uncomfortable with the, if you like, the showbiz element that's introduced to this race.
Apologies for swearing on your 50th birthday as well. I have to reprimand you, naughty boy.
Christian,
we'll look forward to you for those. Oh,
you don't drink. I've seen you push a half a pint of beer all around the table all night without drinking it. What you do. What are you going to do for a celebration?
Well, you know, my birthday sort of has been going on for about a day and a half now, because it started in the UK just after lunch yesterday. So there's a lot of birthday cake over there. So if you guys are struggling, you know, come and get stuck in.
We could go and hit the tables for a couple of hours.
Well, you could sing happy birthday to me if you like.
Maybe they need some of that cake in the potholes over on the track.
Some of the cake could do a good job, I tell you.
Yeah, heavy set. Thank you. Appreciate
you very much.
We'll let you get and debrief with the team. There we go then. So.
Yeah, nice to hear them from everybody. Just having word, current scenes around the drain hole cover, there's around about 60 marshals all coming up as well, and it's not looking too great. I'm not sure if my phone can display it correctly to you by holding up to the screen, but that is the current scene around the manhole cover down on the Las Vegas Strip there as well. So not a lot of work going on. Well, sorry, not a lot of work going on, but not a lot of expectation that we're going to see a practice session in a couple of hours' time. Formula One a few minutes ago put this out. Following an FIA inspection, it was found a concrete frame around a manhole cover had failed during practice 1. The FIA are commencing checks on all other drain covers across the circuit. Any changes to scheduling will be advised in due course, so they might adjust the session as well, which makes more sense. Okay, closing thoughts then. Only 8 minutes of running, but Joe, starting with you, what do you make of all this?
It's an unfortunate start. This is not the kind of start everyone wanted for this big race weekend. If they are to make up lost time, that'll be a win, something. At the end, I think what Formula One is really hoping for is a good, entertaining race. Keep the fans engaged, because we know, just like what we've seen in other sports, you have a good race that's going to have everyone talking Sunday morning instead of Monday morning, because it's going to be Saturday night. We're all going to forget about this. It'll still be something where we see people talk about, remember that happened, remember this. Hopefully F1, they're going to be banking on this track, this unique circumstances, the cooler temperatures. We're going to have a race you're going to remember, and you're going to want to come back to this race.
Absolutely. Jess?
Well, I hope they can redeem themselves, really. I know Monaco have been able to get races back up and running, so I'm sure Las Vegas can too. And if they can extend free practice too, and if they can get a clean session going, then that will redeem themselves in my eyes for me. But at the moment, not looking great.
So they're going to check every single drain cover around this 6.2 kilometre Las Vegas circuit, and we will hopefully have a practice too. Stay tuned to Grid Network, JB Motorsports, and all our personal Twitters as well for all the information about what's going to happen. We will be live for practice 2, regardless if it's just an update saying the session's cancelled, and a quick thought as well. But I want to say right now, thanks very much to Jess and to Joe for sticking around up here in the commentary box. Only 8 minutes of running. I'm very, very sorry we couldn't bring you more. But as we leave you with a view of the Las Vegas Strip, the first session done, only 8 minutes completed. What will we see when we go running again next time? Join us for practice 2. We're back at 7:45 British time as well. Join us then. Thanks for your company. Sorry. Bye-bye.